know, millions of people look to us for information and uplift and, yes, entertainment. And we're gonna give it to them.
And action.
An army of technicians and actors and top-notch artistic people are working hard to bring to the screen our biggest release of the year. Hail Caesar is a prestige picture with one of the biggest stars in the world, Baird Whitlock.
A truth we could see if we had, but... If we had... Faith. Cut!
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, thanks.
Pleasure to talk to you again.
And you.
I had such a blast watching this movie. What was it like for you? One of the really cool things for me about this is you got to play in 1950 Hollywood with all the different genres and types of movies that were being made.
Yeah.
So how much fun was it for you to shoot all these, like a musical?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but you gotta think that we couldn't do it quite like they did those films in the 50s. I mean, they had this whole factory thing going, and we didn't have the money and the facilities to actually completely reconstruct a Hollywood studio, but we gave it a good shot, I think. It was fun trying.
I think you did a fantastic job with Please. You seem to land on your feet. Is there a day or two that you will always remember from the shooting of Hail Caesar?
Oh, I actually remember most of the days, actually, yeah. We were shooting film again. I remember the mornings most, waiting for the lab report.
Is there a day from the actual shooting, or like any sort of one of the scenes, one of the sequences?
I say them all. I mean, I think one of the most I don't know, memorable, I suppose, was going to the Warner's stages at a weekend, and they cleared everything out for us, and you could see all the stages with no generators and trailers and all the stuff that's usually there when you go to the Warner's backlot to shoot something. They cleared it all out, and it really did look like a 1950s studio. These great big stages, and the shot of Josh kind of walking down between the stages, silhouetted in the sun. I mean, I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
I'm very curious, from the way you started to what you do now, how has your process changed in terms of maybe you used to rely on storyboards more and now you are very much finding it in the moment, or how has your process changed on set?
No, I mean, that depends on the director, really. I mean, the guys, Joel and Ethan have always storyboarded. I mean, they've always I started with them on Barton Fink. They don't work any different now than they worked then. And maybe they're a bit looser in the sense that on the day we kind of create things, maybe veer away from the storyboards and stuff. But no, they still work in basically the same way. A lot of prep, storyboard everything, knowing exactly the kind of shots and the kind of, so they know exactly the set they need to make the shot, So it's a very methodical approach, really.
I had a few people on Twitter ask me some questions to ask you.
Yeah.
One of them is, what's the best camera you've ever used? You're going to be throwing someone on the bus on this one.
More like a still camera, actually. What do you mean, a film camera?
A film camera, yes.
Film or digital camera? That's a very hard one, actually. I mean, the thing is that camera's of its time, isn't it,
Sure.
When I first started shooting features, I had my own Arri BL2, and I shot in 1984 on it. I loved that camera till I dropped it. Actually, I dropped it, and it came back from Germany, from the Arri in Germany. It came back quieter and better than it was before, so maybe it was not a bad thing. But no, a camera's of its time. I shoot film on a Arri 535B now. I love that camera too, You get attached to it, I've been using that camera now, 20 years or so.
Is there a digital camera that you have a preference for?
Yeah, the Alexa. I mean, that's the only one I use.
Okay.
Yeah. I use other cameras if I have to, but that's my favorite digital camera.
Would you ever, this is another Twitter question, would you ever consider shooting a movie on a phone?
Well, yeah, absolutely, because it's funny, because when I was talking to Joel and Ethan about Hail Caesar, whether we're going to go film digital, and we had a conversation about it, and I was kind of biased towards digital, because that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And eventually Joel said, I don't know if this will put you off, but we feel we want to shoot film. And I said, I emailed back. I said, I don't care. I shoot on an iPhone if you want. I mean, that's not the point. It's the decision. That's fine. So I would, yeah, if it was the right project, why not?
What do you think is next for digital cinematography?
Well, in the very short term.
Short term and even long term.
I think in the long term, I think I've worked quite a bit in animation, over the years, and I think animation and what was live action are going to merge. I really do. I think there'll be less and less live action now. I think live action will be, more the kind of smaller film, lower budget film, but I think most mainstream Hollywood films will be done in a computer very soon, actually. Well, I say very soon, 10, 20 years.
You've collaborated with DreamWorks Animation.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
I haven't, no, because I get the other things really, and I'm not sure. I haven't. The last one I did with them was How to Train Your Dragon, the second one, and I really enjoyed doing it. I'm not sure what else I can do actually there. That's the thing.
Is there a genre or a project that you've always dreamt of doing that you haven't done yet?
Well, I haven't really done true science fiction, so, so I'd like to do really, a serious science fiction movie. So many movies that pretend to be science fiction are science fantasy, really. So, I'd like to do, I like the science fiction of, Walter Tevis or somebody like that.
So you don't consider Blade Runner 2, what do you consider Blade Runner 2 then?
Are we talking about Blade Runner 2? Yes, that I would consider that serious science fiction. Philip Dick is definitely serious science fiction writer.
I definitely have questions, or at least a few that I would like to ask you, but I want to actually jump backwards a little bit. What got you into being a cinematographer, into shooting movies?
Well, a lot of luck, really. A lot of luck. I mean, I'm serious. Because I'd always loved movies as a kid, but I went to art college and I discovered stills photography, really, and I wanted to be a photojournalist. And then I discovered documentary, and gradually I shot documentaries. I went to the National Film School. I think that was the biggest marker in my career, really. I mean, I don't think if I hadn't gone to the National Film School, I don't think I'd have got into film. But I mean, I went there and then I left and did a lot of documentaries for a while, and then just slowly I was getting asked to do dramas and feature films. So it was a long progression, really. I didn't shoot my first movie till I was like, early 30s. So it was quite a lot later than a lot of people do today.
Do you consider, was there one person that was one person that really helped you break into the industry, or was it just paying your dues and eventually it sort of happened?
It's paying your dues, really. I mean, I got lucky. I mean, a couple of fellow students at the National Film School went on to make features or drama work, so I worked with them. No, I kind of paid my dues doing documentaries, really. I did some documentaries that other people didn't seem to want to do, and I felt I'd done my time,
What do you consider the hardest part of your job while on set? Or just the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of cinematography, really, is just sustaining the kind of same world that you're trying to create from day to day, and you're doing it in such a sort of jigsaw puzzle. You shoot the end of the film first and the beginning of the film last, and you shoot. I mean, on Hellseas in particular, we're shooting exteriors, and one angle would be on one location, and then 2 weeks later we'd do the reverse on another location somewhere else, because we wanted these different backgrounds and stuff. So it's really the hardest thing is maintaining that sort of consistency of look, really. That's the hardest thing. That and the politics, but we don't get a lot of politics, Joel and Ethan.
I was going to say, I would imagine they get left alone quite a bit. For people that want to do what you're doing, is there any advice you would like to share, or any sort of training you would recommend?
I don't think there's any. I mean, I would always say, I think going to film school, as I say, it was big, made a big difference to my life. And I think shooting documentaries as well. I think shooting documentaries and stills actually gives you a sense of how you see things, really, how you relate to what's in front of you. I think that's really important. You can't copy somebody else. I mean, you can watch all the films you want. I mean, I love watching movies all the time. I was revisiting Andrei Tarkovsky the last week. I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a bit down or something, but I'm watching Solaris and Andrei Rublev and sort of going, whoa, you know. But you don't watch them because like, oh, I want to take that shot, I want to do this, I want to do that. You just watch them because they're sort of like so great. You've got to find it yourself, really. You know, with your director, you've got to find every film is different, and you know, it's not about copying anybody else. You know.
Who are some of the artisans in your field that you admire?
What, living or dead?
You can go both.
Vadim Yusuf, seeing I'm talking about Andrei Tarkovsky, I think Vadim Yusuf was like a total genius. And obviously Keizo Miyagawa, who shot for Kurosawa and Michiguchi, and you know, obviously Conrad Hall and Haskell Wexler, bless him, both good friends actually. So yeah, there's a lot of people.
Before I run out of time with you, I want to ask you a few questions about Blade Runner without getting you in any trouble.
Yeah.
Film or digital?
Probably digital, actually. Yeah.
I love IMAX. Huge proponent of the format. Any chance you might use IMAX cameras, or have you talked about using IMAX cameras for anything in the future?
No, we might do what we did on Skyfall, which might be shown in IMAX, but not IMAX cameras. No.
Have you started working on it yet?
I've been on it on and off for about 3 months now. Yeah, it doesn't start shooting till summer. So, but a lot to talk about.
Well, I was going to say again. Hopefully, this will not get you in trouble. But where and when are you shooting?
We're shooting in midsummer, and well, the rest is I'm not going to talk about where exactly. But I've been working with Denis Villeneuve in Montreal on and off, and sometimes on Skype, and we've been storyboarding so far.
I would imagine for you, it's such an iconic property that means so much to so many people. Is it intimidating for you to be sort of getting involved in this universe, or do you relish the opportunity to tell the continuing story that Ridley Scott started?
Well, the latter, really. I mean, it's obviously it's intimidating because it's this kind of responsibility. It's an iconic film for a lot of people that love movies, but the way Denny and I are looking at it is a film. It's a film. This one we're working on is a film that will stand by itself. I mean, it's 30 years on from the original, but we're making a film that is its own film. Yeah.
I was going to say that a lot of people were, I think, very concerned that a sequel was being made, but people are so excited about you being involved and Denis being involved. Have you seen the fan reaction? Because generally, people would be nervous, but a lot of people are enthusiastic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it puts more pressure on. Really, I'm very nervous about it.
What do you?
But I'm always nervous when I start a film, so probably that's a good thing.
What are you thinking about for the future after Blade Runner, or do you sort of take it one project at a time when you're picking things to do?
Well, yeah, the last few years it's been very much one project at a time. I mean, I don't find I get offered very much that I really love. So.
I understand. My last question is actually going back to Hail Caesar. I'm not talking to the Coen Brothers, so I'm going to ask you, were there a lot of deleted scenes? Were there a lot of things missing?
No, it rarely happens with them. The first film I did with them, Barton Fink, at the end of the shoot, end of time in the movie, I was counting the shots that we'd made, and that's in the whole schedule, the shots that were made that weren't in the final edit, and I counted 10 shots, 10 setups, which is like mind-blowing, really. Hail Caesar, yeah, maybe twice that, but you know, it was a more complicated movie. But in terms of scenes, no, I can't think of anything that was cut. No.
On that note, I'm going to say thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on this. Can't wait to see Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah, not can I.
Exactly. Thank you so much.